Welcome to another edition of The Naked Truth. My name is John Singletary.
And my name is Ramon.
Today our topic is going to be greater community involvement. When we take a look at being engaged in our community and what's necessary to move it forward, we have to be more engaged in the governing process. We've got to be more engaged with the city council meetings, the CDBG meetings, the public safety committee meetings, the committee as a whole, the finance meetings, the zoning meetings. There are all kinds of meetings that take place at City Hall, and the room should be packed. There should not be 10, 15 people coming to the meetings, because that is the time to understand what's going on. Just recently, here in North Charleston, one of the things that happened was they took Davis and Floyd and gave them a blanket contract to do all of the sidewalks in North Charleston. No one else gets to bid on them. Well, that is a violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act, as well as it's a violation of fair competition. And so now we've got to go and complain to the SEC because it destroys the ability for any of our smaller contractors to be able to then come in and bid on any of the contracts. But when we fail to show up, these are the kinds of things that happen.
Well, when you have such in the North Charleston is that nearly 50% population of black, and when we go inside of these city council meetings, zoning, these meetings, and you see that the majority of the people that are there are white, and you want to know why, such as Davis and Floyd always getting the contracts. Mm-hmm. We want to know why that blacks are not prospering underneath Mayor Sunny, or even in this country for the most part. You have to look at, we must be involved, engaged politically. We must attend and hold our elected officials to the feet to the fire, because as long as we sit back and just do nothing, just say nothing, say, hey, I don't know, John, how many times that I heard during the campaign, you can't beat Mayor Sunny. And I would say probably most of the people that said that, they don't vote.
Absolutely right. When we take a look at what's going on, what we have to do is we have to force ourselves to get outside of the box of what we're normally used to. We have to get to the meetings. Economic empowerment happens through procurement, for the most part, for blacks and whites.
Sure.
And so we've got to be engaged in that process, because we're talking about last year, $67 million was spent. And there's a prescribed process that they're supposed to go through, but when we're not there, when we can't see it, we can't challenge it, and as a result, by default, we give them the money. Now, if we had a situation where they were taking cell phones away from kids in school, or they were, we'd have everybody out there.
Oh yeah, they'll be out there.
Protesting and everything else. We have to keep laser focused on the fact that there must be a closer tie between our engagement in the procurement process, the hiring process for the city of North Charleston and any other city, if we're going to be involved in the process that's going to help us and our businesses become greater economically sound. When we look at businesses, they don't come to stay away from our neighborhoods because they don't like us because we're black. They stay away because we don't have the funding to support their businesses.
Exactly, we don't.
Harris Teeter just built one down Dorchester Road. Why? Because in Westcott they have the money. Mm-hmm. They've been trying for how long to build one in the southern end of the city. Right. They claim, even with $1 million to give away. Now, I understand the contract, they want them to sign a 20-year deal to give Donald Trump Jr. some money, and many businesses aren't going to do that. But the fact of the matter is, if there was greater job opportunities at the city and more money that came in our community, then we wouldn't have to beg somebody. They would flock. Go to Atlanta and take a look at areas where blacks make a lot of money. Harris Teeter, Publix, all they want to be there. Why? Because they're going to spend their money.
That's right.
And so it's the same here. Restaurants, 20 new restaurants down Dorchester Road. The reason why the businesses stay away or there's no new construction for homes and residents in our neighborhood is because we're broke. It makes no sense for a business to come in our community when we're broke and we can't support them. So we have to fight for that economic empowerment through jobs and contracts so that our neighborhoods will automatically begin to flourish, because it's just the nature of the business to find out the average income, the types of homes.
One of the things that Concerned Citizens Alliance is, in our mission statement, is economic empowerment. And there's the best way for us to be able to have those opportunities that John is talking about is the vote, is getting engaged in the process, in putting the mayor and city councilman on blast and say, hey, you voted for this, you voted for this, or you voted for that. It's not going to happen any other way. If you just sit back in your house and say, hey, I'm going to go to work, and by the way, John, I would not want to mention, well, would like to mention the fact that the average wage for a black person in North Charleston is $24,000. $24,000 is just above poverty, the poverty rate. So we live
for what?
Huh?
Average for what?
61,000. 61,000. So you may not have the money to bring in those type of businesses, but you can do it. You can do it through your vote. You can increase that $24,000 to where it is at $50,000 or $61,000. But there's no reason for there to be that gap because you decide that I'm not going to vote. What is it going to cost you to go to those meetings and to hear your mayor talk, to hear your city council talk? What is it going to cost you?
And understand the bylaws. Get the bylaws for the city and read them so that when you go, you've got a solid foundation to understand what they should and should not be doing. Because many of the things, just coming to the meeting, sitting there, does not give us economic empowerment. Many of the things that they do are outside of the bylaws, and some of the things they do are simply illegal. But if we can't challenge them because we do not know, then we really have not moved ourselves further down the road. So we have to educate ourselves when we go in. Get on. Take a look at the transparency spending report. Find out what they spent last month. Take a look at the budget. Understand what is going on in the city and the nature of money and how it moves through the city. Businesses and ultimately of your communities.
Ultimately, John, we are where we at because of what we're not doing.
Absolutely.
We're not doing. We're not getting engaged. We're not being informed. We're not checking out the bylaws. There's an old saying that we like to say that's in the Bible. It says, "Hey, our people perish for lack of knowledge,"
Right.
And that's exactly it. But if you continue watching this channel, we will give you the knowledge that you need, and then point you in the right direction to even find even more knowledge.
Absolutely. We will get you engaged. We will educate you, as well as we will try and give you some of the information that you'll need so that you can even take things further than we can in many instances. Because what happens is when you begin to educate yourself and others about what's going on, then your community will get more of its fair share of everything. That's jobs, that's contracts, that's community resources, quality education, justice in the justice system, and it goes on and on and on. There's so many benefits of not only being involved, but being involved to the point where you are educating others to be involved. That's what we want. That's what we need in order to be able to move our communities further.
Well, in closing, we'd like to say please continue to watch our videos. Please subscribe, like us, share us with your friends, and develop this conversation. hit us up on Facebook, because we would like to hear more about you. And also we'd like to continue this dialogue about being engaged in our community. John?
We're going to have a surprise for you coming up. We're going to have one of the local establishments who's expressed interest in us coming doing, like we're doing here, but doing one night out of the week, a community engagement like talk session, where we get up, we bring issues out, we pick people out the audience, and they come up and they talk about the issues, and then we throw out the facts that also deal with what's going on in our community. We're going to have some jazz, we're going to have some spoken word, we're going to have some open mic, and so stay tuned, look for it, it's going to be great.
Yeah. Well, this has been another edition of
Thank you.